Tried to go live a couple minutes ago, but didn't want to do it. So, very happy that it is now working. So, hi everyone, and happy Tuesday, and welcome to my Instagram Live. So, today we're going to talk about tennis and everything Wimbledon. Now, normally during our Coach Venus lives, we're working out, but like I said, I've been having to take a break for my knees in the last couple of weeks. So, we're going to get back to movement very soon. But until that time, I thought we'd have a fun Tennis Tuesday and we could talk about tennis. And in particular, we could talk about 20th year anniversary of my Wimbledon win. Of course, I'd like to say thank you guys for donating to the Equal Justice Initiative. Every dollar that you donate, I will match. So thank you so much. Guys, you can also go to my link in bio, opt in for email updates to know what time we're working out, what time we're having our chats, who we're chatting with, who's our special guest, what time it's all happening, so you can get those email updates. And you can also use the code Coach Venus for 20% off at 11byvenus.com. And additionally, we have a Spotify playlist that's fire, so go ahead and check that out so you can get moving, get grooving, get dancing, get fit, etc., etc. Now I'm going to go ahead and give a wave to our first donator. That's M. Joseph's CC. Hi, just giving you a wave. Thank you so much for your donation. And then also going to go and say hello to some folks who have joined us on live. So hi, Trey Bang. Hello, Fitzpatrick Keith. Yeah, I got that right. Josh 92064. Is that a zip code? My Fadi, hi, how are you? Rev Adam Fusu, how are you? I'm always getting these names wrong, and I'm sorry about that. It's just something that's going to happen because I haven't met you yet, but now we're meeting kind of on Instagram Live, right? Okay, so I'm going to give out some more waves to more donators. Hi, Joey92, thank you for your donate. Oh, hi. Jar Riley, how are you? Thank you. Loving it. Okay, so Louis Van Pollen, thank you. And Aaron Song, thank you. Aaron C. Ong, thank you so much. All right, so you guys sent in questions. And you sent in questions earlier. What are your tennis questions? What are your Wimbledon questions? And I got them. So, with that being... Oh, I did get the questions, but now my phone is frozen. So, this thing has been acting up all day. So, until I can get this thing to act right, I might have to shut it down. Okay, I'm going to restart this. Until then, I will answer your questions in the question box, and then we'll go directly to the questions that you guys sent as well. So, I'll start out with the first question. This is from Lady Isha. Actually, the questions in the story are here. How are you feeling today, and do you miss your sister Isha? Well, I do miss you, even though I just talked to you a few minutes ago, and I love you, and you're one of my favorite sisters. So, yes, the question answers yes. I'm blushing. Okay, this question is from DJ Riley, and how did you start 11 by Venus, and what is your why? Okay, great question. Thank you so much. Question came in just now. So thank you so much for that question. And 11 by 11 stands for being better than a 10. So our philosophy at 11 is better, not best, because best is a moment, better is continual. And that's how you have to live your life. It's a life where you give everything, no regrets, and it's a lifestyle of wellness. And all my life, I've been moving my body, eating well, thinking as well as I can. And the results of that are that you get to hopefully do something that you love, which is what I've gotten to do, and hopefully get to do it well. And also 11 is about that journey, because when you're going to better and when you reach best and continue past best to better, that journey has a lot of ups and downs. Nobody sees all the work you put in when you get that promotion, or all the work you put in when you win that tournament. They don't see the horrible loss that you had when you went back and worked harder. They see this moment there, but those moments build character. So I started this because I want to help people to be well, to get well, and that's the answer to that question. Okay, so this is from Zakira, and this question is, do you still dream tennis in your sleep, about matches in your sleep? I usually only dream about matches that I lose, and in the dream, I know that it's not real and that I've lost the match, like subconsciously I can tell, but somehow in my mind I think that I can do it over, and I wake up and it's like even a worse feeling because you're like, oh, I did lose that match. Ooh. And then you go to practice and work harder. Better, not best. So thank you so much for that question. Okay, let's talk a little bit about, okay, this is from Carrie79. He says, how cute is your niece? Let's talk a little bit about Wimbledon. So Wimbledon is the oldest tournament in tennis, and it's not happening this year. One of the only events to have pandemic insurance. 3 events in the world, right? So it's not happening this year, but everyone is still celebrating the memories, and everyone's been tagging me on all these great Wimbledon memories and things that I had forgotten about too. So thank you. Continue to tag. I like walking down memory lane with you all. And my first Wimbledon was in 1997. And I remember I played on the new court 1, and I was just completely overwhelmed and just kind of had the match in my hand. And it was just so overwhelming for me, that the pressure. And I realized that, and I went and worked on it. I understood that I had basically choked. So choking is a part of life, and that's honestly how my Wimbledon started, but that's not how it ended. It ended with me reaching that ultimate goal, and it was only 3 years later, going from my first Wimbledon to major choke, winning the match, and going like quickly downhill until a couple years later, then with my third Wimbledon, winning that one. I never thought about it that way. It was the third time's a charm, right? Was it the 4th time? Yeah, 4th time. 4th time's a charm. Anyway, basically 3 years later, getting to the trophy. And I remember in that first match, I was serving for the match in the second set at 5-4, and I lost serve. And that's a no-no in tennis. You don't lose serve, especially when you're serving for the match. It's a mental error. And I thought to myself, wow, really gone ahead and ruined it here, but I'm going to keep fighting. I thought to myself, this is not what you trained, because when you first start, that's what happens. You come on tour, you're serving for the match. It's all very mental at that point, playing smart, being confident, not being nervous, playing like you did to get to that point that you could serve for it, and then you lose serve. Then you fight, struggle, maybe win the match, maybe lose the match, but in the end, you should have won that game. That is your job. And so that's something you work on. You're like, okay, I lost serve. This happened. Let me work on myself mentally. So getting to that point at Wimbledon, I'm thinking, I've done this work, and now I really got nervous. And I've lost serve. Now it's 5-all, and we could be going to a third set. But thankfully that didn't happen, and just reset your mind and live in that moment and not look backwards. And got that set 7-6 against one of the best players ever played, Lindsay Davenport. And that was my first Wimbledon. So, okay, so let me see. I restarted this phone, and it's still glitching. No, I didn't restart the phone. Sorry, thought I did. Bad phone. Okay, so I'll answer more of your questions in the question box, because a lot of your questions are from stories still, so they're here. Now, there is a question in Portuguese. I don't speak Portuguese. Sorry. Working on that. Okay, next one. Which was the last tournament you played, and how was your experience there? My last tournament I played was in Monterrey, Mexico. I loved Mexico. I loved the Mexican crowd. I hated how I played the match. It was just not a good time in terms of I didn't win it. I haven't played since. But it's just a start. It's the start of being greater, right? Oh, well. In a few days, you can't even understand how you got so upset. Yeah, but at the time, you're so upset when you lose these matches. Okay, Kim Thorpe. Hi, 98. Nice to see you again. What are your best memories from Wimbledon 2020? I don't think 2020 happened, so maybe you mean Wimbledon 19, 20 years ago since the final. So, yeah, I'm not sure exactly what that means, but I did see the best memories from Wimbledon, and some of my best memories of Wimbledon were definitely the Olympics that happened in 2012 at Wimbledon. That was pretty special to play there and to wear color at Wimbledon. And it was incredible. All the colors from all the countries are so vibrant and so beautiful, and they're playing in them and they're on the grass. That was awesome. So that's one of my favorite memories, is playing Wimbledon there. Okay, so No Hang CY, No Zhang CY. What's your best memory of Wimbledon? They're all good. Winning the first time was great, and since the second, third, fourth, fifth, they were all the best moments. So I'm gonna say all of them. It's hard to pick one because they're all. It's just that moment of when you get to that last point, and then it's you, and you're the one. There's no other feeling like it in life. And the best part of it all is waking up the next morning. And you wake up and you remember that you won like a major event. And you're like, I'm the champ. It's the best. I have to say that's the best feeling, is waking up the next day as the champion. Yeah, lots of good memories, guys. This is so nice to walk down this lane in COVID and just to be so motivated. Last night, I was watching a documentary, and it was on the Olympic Channel, which is my favorite new channel. And it comes on, and I hear this voice, and I said, that's Serena. And I'm thinking, that is my sister. And it's it's an Olympic documentary on 1968, which was a monumental year. And talking about equality, which we're talking about right now, which is, wow, we have $178 in donations, 15 donations. Thank you, guys. It was a big year in equality there. That is the famous year where John Carlos, and I'm sorry, I'm blanking on the last name, they stood on the podium with their fist up, and there were so many things happening in America with equality. It was in the middle of the civil rights movement. Also, Czech Republic had just gotten invaded by Moscow, or by Russia, and this was all happening, and it all played out on the world stage with these amazing gymnastics, and you guys, it's an incredible year to know about the Olympics. So next thing I know, I hear Serena's voice, and I'm like, and I had to record it. Like, that's my sister. So she did an amazing job. I'm very proud of her. But I was watching this and I was getting so motivated, and not only motivated, but I could just, that feel when you have the butterflies in your heart, and that's like from when you feel good or when you feel motivated or moved or sad, that kind of like butterfly feeling just the whole time. And also I get that feeling too when I experience and hear about inequality as well, just this feeling in my heart like I want to do something. And also that feeling when you hurt other humans, it just hurts me. So I don't like to expose myself to a lot of these things, and because it makes me so sad. But you can't turn a blind eye too, so you have to face it straight on. Like when I say expose myself to these things, it's very hard for me to watch documentaries about war. I go to tears. It's just hard for me. So watching these kinds of things about inequality, war, these things it's very emotional. But I was so motivated by these, and the second one I watched was narrated by Morgan Freeman, and this was the 1936 Olympics. What a year. This is before Hitler really. This was while World War II was coming, and the whole propaganda about this Aryan perfect race, and to have Jesse James go there and other delegations from the United States. I can't remember the exact number. It was under 20, but about 20 or 21, maybe 15. I don't remember the number of African Americans that went to the Olympics and what that was like. Because at that time, he was the only African American, him and Joe Frazier, that were in sports. There was no one else playing. So the motivation that this new generation that he inspired to run and to play sports. So it was very powerful, very motivating. My heart just exploded, and I just want to work harder because I've been given these opportunities because Jesse James ran, and he held, he had to hold his tongue. And even though there were moments, there was a ticker parade that he was in afterwards, and the person announcing him called him a boy in this ticker tape parade. And so those moments where you can't speak up for yourself, and he held his head up high and competed and was a champion and gave others opportunities, and those dominoes continued to fall over the years, and I'm grateful for those. Althea Gibson, another conversation about Wimbledon as well. It's on the Olympic Channel, M to the O. She says, I wish I could have watched this. Jesse Owens, Infar 227. Amazing. His technique for running is what started modern running today, or athletics, or track and field. He was a beautiful runner and incredible. Bob Beamon also broke the long jump record, still the Olympic record for a long jump from 1968. And this, you have to see it. It's incredible. Anyway, so all these things. Althea Gibson was the first African American to win Wimbledon. She went on to win the Australian Open as well as the U.S. Open during this time where she couldn't even find a doubles partner because she was African American. Alice Marble wrote a letter that allowed her to finally be included, and she proved to be one of the best in the world. So lots of wonderful traditions at Wimbledon, but also moments of inclusion or inequalities. But now we're past that and moving forward. So let me see if I can pull up these exact questions. And my phone is working. Okay. So let's see. Now this first question is, tell us about what did the Wimbledon title mean for you growing up? So the Wimbledon title meant everything to me growing up. My dad would say, when we were from Compton, he would say, if you don't bend your knees, the only place you're going is Wilmington and Rosecrans. There's a YouTube video about it on my YouTube channel. And Wilmington was a street in Compton and Rosecrans was the cross street. So, yes. So we moved our feet so that way we could go to Wimbledon. And my dad said, pick a tournament you want to win more than any other tournament. And I chose Wimbledon. Serena copied me. We still copy each other. And whatever the one does, the other has to do. Not has to do because she is jealous, but because we're just so easily influenced by each other. If one has one haircut, the other has to have the other. If one moves to this street, the other has to move to the street. We just like we're very proud of it. Anyway, my dad said, pick one tournament you want to win. Serena picked Wimbledon too. And my dad says, no, pick a different one, because he wanted her to have her own identity. So she picked the U.S. Open. And you got to have goals. So that was the start of it all. Okay, so that was the answer to that question. Thank you so much. Tell us about the tournament and you felt about it. Okay, so that wasn't specific to the first Wimbledon title, and I've talked about already what that meant for me going into it. I remember going into that tournament and I said to myself, I'm winning this tournament. It's my turn. It's no one else, and it's me. And that's the only time I've ever gone to a tournament like that. No, my turn. It's me. I felt like I had paid my dues. I felt like I'd had my tough losses. I felt like I'd learned my lessons, and it was my turn. And that's really the attitude in life, and I've got to take that attitude every other tournament. But I knew I was going to win that. I knew it. I just knew I was going to, and it happened. So, yeah, there it was. Okay. Talk to us about the final. I did talk to you about that final. And I don't think I was nervous going into the final. I knew what I had to do. I had a game plan. I think I was nervous probably the first 2 or 3 games. But I knew what I had to do and I was ready to go. How did it feel for Venus to hold the Venus? I mean, a lot of people cry. I don't cry, at least in public, when I win or lose. I have yet to feel that feeling of like, I want to get there where you break down in tears. Crying is just not allowed in my house growing up. You have to just be like, So, but when I win, I'm just so giddy and I can't stop laughing. So my reaction is completely different. I'm just like, can't stop jumping and I'm just laughing. And sometimes I watch the celebration, or people tag me in the celebration of Australian Open recently. Or from 2017 and that semifinal when I won the match. It was so over the top. I love this guy, Titus Andromeda from Kimmy Schmidt, and we are just exactly the same. Titus is so over the top, and that's how I was in the celebration. I was like, and it was just a lot. I look at that moment and just knowing what I went through and how I felt, not only at that event, but the ones leading up to it and the years before, it's emotional for me now to watch that. So that's the only time that I feel like the emotion. And no one knows what you're going through, but you don't know who you can inspire by going through it. So it was just, a good thing. Okay, so how does your rose water grant you wishes if you rub it? It's asking for a friend, Top TMG. So this is my friend Tanya, and we've been going platinum together since 2005. So T, I love you, and I wish, I should have brought a trophy upstairs. Sorry, I didn't think of that, but maybe I'll walk downstairs and show you guys some of the trophies at the end, or I'll send pictures. It's still a week of Wimbledon, right? I'll send pictures and things like that. But so originally, the original rosewater dishes were like this, 7 inches. So you get a little you hold the trophy for a couple minutes, and it's like they take your baby away and it's gone, and you go home and they send you a replica that's like this. And I think in 2006 was the first year they started doing a full, and the replica is small, flat, and silver. In 2006 they started doing a 75% replica, like it's the real deal, looks almost the same. And when I said, why didn't I win? I need to win now. I got to get this replica. So now the replica is 75% of the size. It looks very much like their original trophy, and it's nice to be able to take that home. And when Serena and I lived together for 20 years, and she eventually moved because she got married and grew up. So she's not really grown. She's a real child at heart. If only you knew. So we were separating our trophies, and so it's hard to know which Wimbledons are whose. And you got to just make sure the plate is attached and it's got the name on it, and got it. At least now the big replicas, it has the name of the last winner, so you can see by that year who that one might belong to. But then if it gets complicated. Anyway, we had a separation of trophies, and I still had to return a few because I was like, oh yeah, that's not my French Open. All right, or that's not my WTA championship. What's your favorite doubles memory from Wimbledon? So there was an interesting memory. We've played 2 doubles finals on a Monday after the tournament was supposed to be over. And the first one was our very first doubles final. And I remember we played the doubles final on a Monday. It was a people's final because they let the just general popless in, so it wasn't corporate or anything. It was loud, it was fun, and we won the match quickly. It was 2-3. And I remember, and it was because of the rain that it was so delayed. And I remember not long after, half an hour maybe after we finished the match, not more than an hour, but really soon, it started raining and it never stopped. And when we took off on the plane the next day to go home, it was still raining. So had it not, I don't know when it stopped raining, but thankfully we won quickly, and that would have been very epic. We would have been waiting till Wednesday or who knows to play that match. Incidentally, my first Wimbledon, I was scheduled to play on Monday. I didn't play until Saturday. It just wouldn't stop raining. So there's some crazy rain stories from Wimbledon. I've had some nice people too. I sleep in the locker room. I'm a sleeper. I can sleep anywhere, anytime, any place, under any stress. And I remember one time Lindsay woke me up and she said, or Lindsay Davenport, she's like, yeah, I think your match is getting close. I was like, oh, thank you. I don't know if it was a year where we ended up playing each other or not, but it was very sportsman-like for her to do that. So my favorite doubles memory, that one, of course, the final that we played in the Olympics in 2012. That final I was very nervous in that final, and it was a lot because I really wanted the team to win and I wanted to hold the team up. And I remember the last point I had to hit in one of my least favorite shots because I wasn't helping Serena out at the net. And then we were playing some very formidable opponents. And she's like, they're going back and forth, and I'm watching the ball and I'm like, I need to cross, Venus, do it. And it happened 2 times, and finally I crossed. I was like, I don't like this shot, I'm going to hit it. And it was just a great moment. And I always say the Olympic spirit moved me, but I also had a great partner. Okay. How are you excited? How excited are you to play World Team Tennis next week? Like, I'm so excited. It's palpable. I'm so excited. Like, so excited. So I feel the anticipation. I don't want to get my hopes up because anything can happen in this COVID environment, but I'm ready. And I just can't wait to like get on the road. So yes, I'm going to be playing my heart out. Okay, when you were diagnosed with Sjogren's, did you think that it was the end of your tennis or were you more motivated to play? And that's from Anaris 101. You must be a Serena fan. So I was diagnosed with Sjogren's in 2011, but I had constant and extremely difficult fatigue to play with for 7 years. So I won 2 Wimbledons with that, is what I'm saying. So anything is possible. You just got to want to do it, and you got to be not afraid of what you're going to go through when you do that. And I wasn't diagnosed until 2011, so the 2005, 2007, wow, it was 3 Wimbledons. 3. Yeah, so some solid results. Yeah, can't complain. Let's see. If you had a choice between two gold medals, Olympics, or 1 slam, which would you pick? Oh, that's not fair. And this is from Aliyah Moledina. Hi, how are you? Nice to hear from you. So, that's not fair. Especially if it's a mixed doubles gold. I was just a hair line away from that one. That was a heartbreaker. And this is one match I was extremely happy with how I played. Usually, I'm like, I didn't play well. And just that whole Olympics, didn't play well in singles, didn't play well in doubles. And finally, redemption in the mixed. And I played an amazing match. And I thought about it. I need to readjust my view. I could have played a little better on match point. I think I just got a little overwhelmed and maybe went for too much. And I should have held my ground. So I learned from that, even though I played extremely well. It's one of the only matches where I can say, like, I was happy with it. I'm usually never happy with a match, but yeah. So with that being said, guys, thank you so much. Now, we're not done with the questions, but I just want to say thank you for you raising money for the Equal Justice Initiative. We have $313.63, and I'm going to be matching every single one of that. And I want to just give some ways. And Nancy Connie, thank you. Shiloh's Jazzy Hairstyles. Andrea So, thank you. Haunt Couture, Brian Bassman, Albert Sy, Jamo 402, Kyle Rowe. I like that spelling. Oh, hi. How are you? Marcel Garcia. Nice to see you again. Katushka 526. Oh, and Jim. Hi, Jim. How are you, Jim Bob? So we work together at Part and Son with Jim and his amazing team, and he has given us a donation. Lots of love. Definitely a big wave for that. He's so kind. I'm going to make sure I continue to give waves to everyone who's been donating. Thank you so much. And remember, you can opt in for email updates for when we're going to be doing this, what time, and when we'll have our conversations. And my camera's tilting because my stand has gone bootleg. I ordered a new one. I think it's out front. Just have to just rig it. Okay. It doesn't want to do it. This is what happens. I didn't get the right one. I just tried to. Okay, there we go. Talking to myself. That's not a good sign. And so we opt in for email updates. Go to my link in bio. You can also use the code Coach Venus for 20% off 11byvenus.com. That's our secret. You can only get that secret here. That's it. Oh, Jay and Jonah, how's Harry doing? Guys, I got to tell you, Harry is 13 years old. He's in perfect health. He's right here. He's crying, literally, because he wants to eat. He's like, okay, relax. It's been a real busy day. I need to feed him again, but it's been nonstop today. So, well, it's every day. Anyway, so he's 13 years old. My sister has a 14-year-old dog, and she's healthy too. And then one day she just couldn't breathe, and she ended up having congestive heart failure. She's fine now, but there was so much water in her lungs, pet emergency, and I'm thinking, my dog's old. I need to get him checked out. So he's seen the cardiologist this week. He's seeing an internist. Last week he saw an eye doctor, and I'm just so obsessed. It's my baby. But he's in perfect health. so far so good. His internist appointment is tomorrow. Fingers crossed. I want to get his hearing checked, and that's the last of his round of checkups. But he's healthy and just fast, quick. For 13 years old, this guy doesn't show it. So thank you, Jane Jonah, for asking. And he's like, oh, thank you guys. He's okay. Yeah, he's okay. If he comes over, usually he sits with me, but he might be pouting. Okay, let's get back to the Wimbledon questions, guys. I'm really, really enjoying going down memory lane here because I always look forward. I'm thinking about my next schemes for tennis and world domination, and I don't always look back because the past is like, okay, it happened, it was great, we can learn from it, but it's done. What's next? So this is kind of cool to look back. I never like tell old stories of like old wins and all that stuff. Maybe when I'm like 80, God willing, I get there. Okay, what's your go-to smoothie order? And that's from Millie Kinger. So my go-to smoothie order at Christopher's Kitchen in West Palm Beach, I like the sweet green. I like that one a lot. I also like the Strawberry Dream. It's like a milkshake, but it's kind of a vegan milkshake. And, oh, he's crying. This is baby. Baby, you bad. Don't be bad all the time. Stop crying. He wants to eat. Okay, just relax. There's a few more minutes, okay? It's gonna be all right. You big guy. Okay, so he's not. He's a little guy, but I try to tell him, you can do this. You're big. Okay, so with that being said, right now I've been doing a lot of liquid detoxing, and so sometimes I have a meal if I get too tired. Mostly I will get too sleepy, and I'm having a hard time staying awake, and it's like, okay, eat a meal. So I've been doing this liquid cleanse, and I think this is my last week of it for now. Okay, let's get back to the questions. And my forehand is the worst. Any advice? So let me give you some key tips on the forehand. We need kind of a demo. So on the forehand, you're going to want to make sure you're not opening up too soon. This is called opening up. So like when you're in your mid-swing, when you open up like this, you're going to lose control of the ball. Just imagine like a whip like this. If you're whipping it, just imagine what the ball's going to do. So you're going to want to stay level and keep your arm closed and just kind of tuck the arm to finish, okay? So you tuck the arm to finish, and then when you take your racket back, you don't want your racket to go beyond, so I'm going to turn as if I'm hitting forehand. You don't want it to go beyond here. So you want it to stay in here. It shouldn't be beyond on this side here. And it goes in SC. Contact should be under the ball. So your contact is under, not here or anywhere else. The racket has got to be under, so it should be very much a C. It's got to be under. You don't even have to start here, just as long as you start and then get under. And the contact point has to be below and out in front. Okay, so when you're attempting different shots, if the ball is higher, then you're probably gonna, if you're not behind the baseline, you're inside, you're probably gonna go flatter, and maybe you're not gonna have that contact point. It gets very complicated. But for the basics, yes. Keep the stroke on this side, hit under it, ball out in front, do not open quickly, body stays level. When you hit the ball, you stay level, because then the ball will stay level. If you're coming up, doing all this nonsense, you better have some string that's going to help you control that. That's all I got to say. And I don't play with that string, so it ruins my arm, or else, trust me, I'd be on it. Okay, so that's the forehand advice. It's a lot, and hopefully it'll work. Will you check in and let me know if that works? Okay, question of the feed. Hi, Venus. How hard was it for you to decide to return to Indian Wells? I wasn't going to go back, and Serena honestly led the way. She said, I want to go back and I want to do this. And I said, I'm not going. I'm done. I've learned since then to be more forgiving. At the time, I was a hard nose. Now I don't hold grudges anymore. But at the time, yes. Thanks, Mom. I get that from her. Love you, Mom. So she went, and I said, I'm not doing it. And then when I saw her go, and I was like, okay, I'm going to go too. And so she really paved the way for me. She really has, and she has in so many things. She really has. Okay, so Where do you keep your trophies? They're just everywhere. I have one in here. It's the trophy from Dubai. That's the only one I have in here. They're everywhere. Fruit bowls. They're all over the house. Some of my favorite trophies are my Wimbledon win from 2005. I like that one because everyone said I couldn't do it. They said I was washed up. I had just turned 25. Nonsense. My win in Luxembourg in 2012. It was my first tournament win after returning from illness. So those ones are pretty, those two mean a lot to me. Okay, so I rewatched the 2007 Wimbledon matches today. Oh, YouTube? And what's your favorite match from that tournament? This is Kilian the Parian. 2007, that's when I played Bartoli in the final. That's all I remember is playing her in the final. And I don't remember who else I played. So maybe you could tell me. But I played her in the final. I went into that match and I had so much more experience and I knew it. And I was in control of the situation. She was extremely talented, great on grass, but first time and anywhere near that deep in a Grand Slam. So I definitely had that advantage. And I didn't even go for a lot. I just played smart. You always have a certain, nervousness going into a final. So I just played within myself. I was serving big though, real big. That helps. Yeah, so we don't have to worry about her. She went on to win Wimbledon. She did well, and she's wonderful, and just so excited for her. She's got a lot of exciting things happening in her life. Okay, and we stay in touch, actually. What's your recommendations for tennis parents? Do not chastise your child. Don't drive your child insane. Now, parents are going to be insane. That's a part of being a parent, most likely, but from what I've seen. But don't drive them crazy. Don't worry them to death. But also don't let them just do anything at the same time. So hold them to a standard without driving. Don't be the sports parent. Do not tell them they have to win. Tell them they have to develop their game. My dad would be upset with us. I remember I played some match when I was 15. I was like hitting a forehand slice. I just wanted to win. And that's not what we practiced. I just wanted to put it in. My dad didn't yell at me for losing. He said he was upset with me for not developing my game. And those messages help your child to be great because you're focusing on where you're going and not this kind of short-term goal. So focus on developing the game. Don't put pressure on them to win. Put pressure on them to do the right things on the court in development. And that is the right place to put pressure on them. And you need to put pressure on them, but you have to figure out how to do that while staying the parent. Every child's different. Can't tell you how. It's a long conversation. But my dad figured it out. He was tough. Let me tell you, the guy was tough. But he was still dad. Mom was tougher. Nobody knows. She's the one that you had to be afraid of. Well, they both were tough. But they both were great. Okay, so what does Olympia call you? She calls me Vivi. I saw her this morning. She's very busy. I'm going to visit Mom. And when she comes to visit my mom, she's got to have her popcorn and her popsicles, 3 popsicles. She's so beautiful and big, and she's incredible. You guys saw the latest photos of her in her ready position. Her physique. How do I get it? Can she do some Instagram lives with us? She's incredible. She's a smart, wonderful baby, and my screensaver is actually her. My screensaver is always her since she was born, and there she is as a little person. Okay, so next one, what do you do with all your old rackets? So I just actually got my old rackets together, and I'm donating them to First Serve Miami. I think they know that already. So donating all my rackets and some balls that I'm not using, and those sorts of things. So that's what I do. Donate them. What's my comfort food? I love junk food. I think about junk food every day. I'm a junkie and I want to eat junk food, and it's only so long I can resist before I have a splurge, and then the splurge lasts one day or it could last a week. It's hard to rein myself back in after. It used to be donuts. I finally moved on. I've spent a lifetime loving Hostess. I don't eat it often. Pie, candy. I just love junk. So, yeah. Eat your vegetables. Okay, and I think that's the end of our questions. Those are some of my favorite picks right there of questions. We've also gotten $424.23 for the Equal Justice Foundation. I want to just make sure we give some shout outs to Russell Alfred 5. Thank you for your generous donation. Glenn Staton, thank you. DJ Vani, Cindy Streb, The Obama Chicks Book, Joan White, 5979. Andrew Mahaney, oh, you're the best. It's so sweet. Nice to see you again. Atticus Parker, thank you so much. OSJ 2017, Luke Holiday 2000, Photorama 70. Kano Shia Dub, I didn't get that right, sorry. Thank you. V-Dub in town. V-Dub in downtown. Okay. Al Sanab, thank you so much. And those are so many people donating. And remember, I'm going to match every donation, so that means we've raised close to $1,000 for the Equal Justice Foundation. Oh, hi, Jill Smoller. How are you? How's it going? I hope you're well. I hope your knee is all right. You guys have been so wonderful as we walk down memory lane. I'm sorry I didn't bring the Wimbledon trophy. I didn't think of that until someone, you asked about the trip. I don't know why I should have thought about it. And yes, so thank you for the questions. If someone's asking, am I a beer or wine girl? I don't drink beer because I'm gluten-free. So I will drink beer if it's an emergency. So I would go with the wine because of that. Okay. Just looking at your comments here, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. And so I have service at 7 on Tuesday, so I gotta go get ready for service. And thank you guys for being so supportive and wonderful and supporting equality and walking down memory lane with me, favorite Wimbledons. And other than that, guys, make sure you go to my link in bio, so that way you can opt in for email updates, so you'll know when we're doing this, because it is planned out. It's not happening by chance, so you don't want to miss it. And so I can answer your questions while you're on here, give you shout out waves, and we can just hang out and stuff. Jay and Jonah are asking me my favorite songs right now. I listen to really random stuff. So right now I'm into Whitney Houston, and that's what I'm listening to. Before that, I was into Kendrick Lamar, and that's what I listened to. And before that, I was into like a weird band you never heard of, Stum. I was into that for like a few weeks. And so it's just like in such weird phases, and that doesn't necessarily be like what's happening today. I do love Migos, so I love Travis Scott. Those are two of my favorites. I love them. So, yes. All right, guys, I'm going to go to service. And my mom doesn't like when I'm late. I'm always running behind the clock, though. I'm always reaching for that extra minute just to kind of slide in right on time. But yeah, so go to my link in bio, opt in for email updates, guys. Listen to our Spotify list. It's jamming. So Jay and Jonah, you guys can go check that out and let me know. DM me what songs you're listening to. Queen of the Night, right? I was listening to that all weekend. So you can let us know. Let us know what songs you're listening to. Maybe we can add this to our playlist, and use the code Coach Venus for 20% off, and that's exclusive to Instagram. So only the folks here know about our Coach Venus code for 11 by Venus. Thank you guys for raising almost $500 for the Equal Justice Initiative, and I will be back on Thursday. So, and next week we're playing, but I'm going to start play, fingers crossed, but it doesn't mean that Coach Venus is going to end. We're still going to be here, and if you go and get the email updates, you'll know when. Oh, Jane Jonah love Whitney Houston too. Yeah, she's awesome. I don't know why I was in the mood. I wake up in the morning I want to hear this song, I want to hear that song, and sometimes I don't want to hear anything except for the alarm not to go off. All right, guys, talk to you later. Bye.